you're all quite into sport, aren't you? As those damn crows, you're all football fans. So, well, I wanted to ask you, what's it like being a Man United fan?
I gotta go a minute.
Because you got 2 Liverpool fans in the band. That's right.
Is this where I read out the script that says Ronnie does not have to answer these questions? This is off my solicitor. It's dreadful, Tom, and your posts are dreadful. It's all awful for my eyesight. I almost wanted to unfollow you. I wish you all non-success. It's awful being a Man United fan, seeing what Liverpool are achieving. It's awful. Even when you lost the other day, which I had great fucking... That's how bad of a Man United fan. I'm one of them, man. Where I was like, yes, look at Liverpool being dogged. This is amazing.
I'm exactly the same on your side. When I just got a Man United fan miserable, and there's a lot of it at the moment to feast on.
And the thing is, I can't even explain why. And for anybody who would think like, he's just fucking glory hunter, he is. I actually supported Man United because they were just a random team that my old man didn't like. And I kind of, like, don't get me wrong, it sounds like I hate my old man, but I did always want to go the opposite way to my dad. If he did something, I'd be like, fuck that. And he was always like a Cloughie man. And my old man is a glory hunter. And I'll say that because he'll never listen to this in 94. He's a fucking glory hunter. He's supported everyone from Nottingham Forest to Man City to fucking Liverpool to all of them. He's never supported Man United, let me add. But one day we were watching Match of the Day and I was a kid and I was like, who's that, Dad? And he was like, it's Nottingham Forest. It's Brian Clough, best manager on earth. I was like, all right. Who's the other team? And he went, Man United. All right. About 10 minutes later, he went, who do you support then? And I went, Man United. And that was it.
Yeah.
So I've stuck with them. I've had the amazing years of obviously when we signed Cantona and all the glory years from Palace to your Scholes to... Well, fucking nothing now, innit? There's nobody. I can't even name Rashford, dude. I think he's good, but I don't think he's consistent. It's a horrible time for a Man United fan because you're smiling and Shane will love it when he hears this. And Shina is just as bad. And every other Liverpool fan that I've known for 10, 20 years have all come out the woodwork and all constantly show me how great Liverpool are doing. So
I get accused of being a glory hunter as well, being a Liverpool fan. It's a similar story. You know, I had a family connection as a kid, didn't even know where Liverpool was as a city. You just adopt them, don't you? And then before you know it, that's it. You're a fan, you can't change. And I don't know, I won't speak for Shane and Shiner, but I think personally, like, there's been no glory for me, not up until recently. Like throughout the 90s and 2000s, there's very little glory. And I went to uni and lived in a flat with 8 guys, and I think 5 of them were Man United fans. And this was during the Roy Hodgson years as well, when we were getting beat by Northampton at home and like in 17th in the table and stuff like this. So I've got so much bitterness up inside me, and it's a beautiful time to be alive.
Oh, brother. Well, I remember, and this is where it's going to come back at me, when we did the YouTube thing and I was smoking back then, which I haven't been for 2 years now, boys, this month. That's me on my high horse. But I remember kind of giving you a little bit of banter outside or something, like, ooh, fucking Liverpool fan, or how it comes back to bite you on the arse. Like, do you know what I mean? It's it's getting, we're actually looking to start back up. We do a Crows football team. I think we've always mentioned this to you. We do a Crows football team, and I think we haven't been able to have the pitch due to COVID, but we're able to have it a week Sundays. So I'm really looking forward to getting back on the pitch with the boys and rolling around in my current state. But I'm not looking forward because half the fucking players who play are Liverpool fans.
Right.
And I just know every time I whip a ball in or any time I go to take a shot, it's going to be, look at my yeah. So I'm not looking forward to that.
We're thinking about, like, there's no gigs anymore, obviously, but what do you make of like the Ryan Giggs stuff that's going on at the moment?
Fucking mental, man. Because if you've ever seen,
legend, but he's obviously a bit of
if you've ever seen on my socials, I'm a massive Welsh fan. I did the Euros. I did the whole 2 weeks. I toured around following Wales. Dark times when we lost that England game. Fucking dark times, honestly. Like, because
wasn't it?
Mate, the run we went on in that thing, and that's the only thing I keep bringing up, because that weren't us playing you, man. It was like, that's a credit to the English football team. And this is true now. This is football fan to football fan, because we went to shit. We give you far too much respect. If we would have played against you as if you were Belgium in our heads, or you were fucking Germany, Brazil, but we just went, oh, it's fucking England. And we literally give you too much respect, where I could see the players playing with more fear. Yeah. The game did mean so much to us because it's very patriotic and a lot of banter and stuff. Oh, fuck, but the aftermath of that, man, like, especially being out there. It was actually, my birthday was like literally a couple of days later, and I was like dancing around with English fans going, you're shit, you're shit.
You went out to the actual tournament, did you?
Yeah, man, I spent the 2 weeks out there. The adventure never stopped, bro. It was
they went further than England, didn't they? They did a lot better in that tournament. I still remember that Belgium quarter-final. Where was it? Who was it who scored that goal where we turned both the defenders?
Robson Carno.
Yeah, that's the one. That goal was like etched in my mind. Because we were up in Wales at that point.
I was there in the corner, bro, when he did that. So I watched the whole movement. It was just like, fuck. Do you know what I mean? And my best mate at the time, well, he's still my best mate now, Shed. Me and him, he hooked the whole tournament up. We went out there. We bought the group stage tickets, and we were like, "Oh, look, we'll get a tournament pass. If it happens, it happens. But let's be honest, we'll probably come out to the group stage. That'll be it. You know, when we've managed to see Wales. You've got to think, Wales have never been to a competition, so all my life I've been waiting for this since 1994." When we missed the fucking penalty, and the result would have gone our way against Romania. Right. And that would have meant we would have done, sorry, it would have been before 1994, because we would have done the American World Cup. And I remember saying to my dad before that, if Wales win, because he's an England fan, by the way, I don't know how that works when he's fucking Welsh, but there we go, that's another thing with my dad. I remember him saying, I don't know why you're going to see that bag of shit in the Old Arms Park. And I said, hey, Dad, we're gonna qualify and we're gonna do the World Cup. And I said, if we do the World Cup, can I go to America? And he went, yeah, I can safely say that, because we'll never enter a competition. Yeah. So to get to the Euros, I was so emotional. I remember when we had that first national anthem came on, and you can still watch it now on YouTube, and it was so loud. Yeah. The goosebumps. Even when we did the England match, man, it was like, you couldn't compete with it. It was just like, it was so fucking, this is it. This is our tournament, like, you know. So to lose that game then, and then obviously I had to spend a couple of days kind of fucking suffering, and then we had the bounce back. And you're right, when we did the Belgium match, well, we all thought that we'd go out in the Northern Ireland match because it was so close and it was so intense. And then when we went through, it was like, fuck it, here we go. And then obviously, we'll play Belgium. They're an amazing team, let's be honest. Any footy fan who follows international football as well, Belgium, God, how they haven't achieved anything is incredible with that squad, man. It's like...
Well, they're supposedly the best team in the world, aren't they, by the FIFA rankings or something? I don't quite know how they work that out, but yeah, they've got a lot of players. I remember a great thing about that tournament was, I think it was... Dean Saunders on Match of the Day, and I think it was when Wales qualified from the group, and he sort of goes, I only put my car in the short stay car park in Wales. Yeah. I didn't think we'd be here that long. He had to like his missus and get her to go buy another ticket or something, which was great.
Yeah, man. Well, that was our journey. We were driving around France, me and Shed, like driving around France, constantly listening to Talk Sport, and like bashing Adrian Durham and stuff like that, because they'd be like, oh, fucking Dog and Duck are playing tomorrow and they're doing all right. Like, and then, like I said, that when we went to Belgium, actually, and here's the mad thing. I think when we did the Belgium match, that would have been me, Shed, and actually Ryan Richards, who came out with us, because he managed to blag the most extreme amount for a ticket. But thinking like, you know, when are we ever going to get the quarterfinals ever again? So this will be it. And then obviously when we won that match, then it was like, fuck, this is real. We could go to the final, yeah. And I had a ticket ready for the final. Because I had the tournament ticket. I was like, oh my God. So this was costing me so much going further throughout there, which I didn't plan for, but it was yet one of the best experiences of my life. Like, it was phenomenal. And the Portugal game, well, we came home after the Belgium game, and we decided to do one of these fly-ins and watch the match. Because we've been driving and obviously busy schedules, like 10-hour drives, some of them, man. We were like driving from one camp to the other side of France, setting up camp there or whatever we were doing. We went into Brussels for my birthday because I had the chance to I was going to go and watch Bullet. The boys said, come along, we're playing Hellfest, you're in fucking France, come along. But I kind of didn't hear anything for a couple of days, and I'm there thinking, do I go to Hellfest? But I haven't heard off him, and I don't want to hassle him. And then my buddy turned around and said, well, you love Belgium, which I do. He was like, let's go over there. You can have your chips, have your Jupla. I was like, all right, wicked. And then I get over there, and Bullet were like, are you coming to Hellfest? I was like, oh, fuck. And little did I know, when I was just leaving Belgium, they were like, oh, we're playing Grass Pop. I was like, oh, fuck. So the experiences, man, I could tell you both about 10 hours worth of stories, but the last game, that Portugal game, I was so drunk. I mean, like, I've got videos that I haven't put up yet that I keep saying I should put them up, but there's like a 2-foot wall that takes me so long to try and get over this 2-foot wall. Because I ended up going over on a plane with Shed. We met Ryan Richards and Matt Tuck from Bullet, because Matt wanted to come to that game and stuff. So we met them. We get to the place at, like, I don't know, 10 o'clock in the morning. We're on the beer straight away. It's lads, and all of that. And then it all becomes vivid because Tucker thinks he's on tour with the band, obviously. And he starts bringing out the Jägermeister at like fucking 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So we're down in Jägermeister on top of beer breakfast. Forgot that none of us have eaten. So there's a beautiful photo where you can see me and Ryan hanging off the bench. And then we finally get to the match, which I can't tell you how I got because I passed out on the bus. And then we get to the match, and then I remember just sitting there, and I was just like, fucking hell, we're playing. It's just like sweating from the heat and like dehydration and stuff. Like, so yeah, it was brilliant. It was brilliant. I know we went out and Ronaldo, like, he finished that off, which is mad as a Man United fan, you know, loving Ronaldo. But I'd never swap that experience. It was phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Like,
well, hopefully they'll qualify for next summer, and hopefully next summer actually happens as well, because it's always good when England's in a tournament. I mean, I hate watching England. Honestly, I hate it. So it's good having a sort of second team ready to jump on, and Wales would be one of them. If Scotland qualify as well, I'll be backing them.
Well, through all the banter, dude, I mean, I grew up as a kid. I watched all the suffering that you did. I mean, I've seen your Stuart Pearce penalty being missed. I was there. Like, I was there as a kid watching Stuart Pearce miss that penalty, because my dad, like I said, whether, you know, you were any fan, you were watching that. That was the big thing back then. You know, the World Cup. There wasn't as many channels. It was a massive thing, like either on ITV or BBC, or probably both, actually, thinking about it. So I've seen those, you know, Roger Miller dancing in like, I think that was World Cup, whatever, and Gary Lineker crying, and you know what I mean? So they're my memories as a Italian 90, World Cup 94. So yeah, to experience Wales being at a tournament was phenomenal. I was actually not looking forward to this year. I did start, there's one person who sussed it. They asked, why do I put a Welsh flag, but it doesn't look like a Welsh flag across my two toms? Why did I do it throughout the tour? And what it was, like, it was actually the Welsh football flag. So I actually stemmed it across the two. And the whole reason I did that from January was because of the Euros coming up. And it was the whole lead up to the Euros. So it was kind of a tip of the hat to the Welsh team. And that was my whole plan for that, or for 2020, like I said, was to, you know what I mean? Just to kind of like, yay, come on the boys. But I weren't looking forward to it because it was scattered this year. It was everywhere. So
it was the worst year to try and do it in loads of different countries, wasn't it? When obviously all this COVID stuff happened, and it's like, hang on, we're not doing it in this just one country anymore. We're going to do it in like 5 or 6, 7 countries all over Europe. So
well, I was due to play a gig up in, I know it was for Wyatt Wendell's, wherever that gig was. I know he was something to do with the gig. So it was up north, and I was due to do a gig there. My boy and my best mate yet again was coming up with me, or I was going to meet them in Manchester Airport, and we were flying out straight away after the gig, and I was going to be going to Italy to watch Wales play in Rome. That's how I was planning my football schedule around like band life, like, do you get what I mean? So that's how dedicated I was to it. I was like, fuck, am I missing a Welsh match if I can get there, like, do you know what I mean? So
what do you make of the Ryan Giggs situation at the moment? Because he's been banned from managing, or he's been dropped from managing the Wales national team, hasn't he? Is that right?
yeah, I mean, I am one of those who used to go and watch Wales play in front of like a couple of thousand people with Gary Speed, so I'm a purist, and I've been through the whole Toshak and stuff. But when we had Coleman, Giggs has had a lot to prove as our manager, because it's not just about winning tournaments. With England, there's a real pressure for you guys to win at a tournament. That's your ours is just to fucking turn up at one. Do you know what I mean? That's the comparison between the two nations. But what Coleman achieved, Giggs came in and already had an uphill battle. There's a lot of Welsh fans who don't forget when he didn't turn up for a lot of games when he was a player.
Yeah.
So
United over Wales, didn't he? Or Fergie.
Yeah. Yeah, so I know I've drawn there because he was a phenomenal Man United player. I don't think he wouldn't be one of my favourite players for Wales because he didn't really do a lot that I seen. He didn't do like what Gareth Bale would have done. He weren't as thing as a lot of the players of the past. Like, you know, even fucking Vinnie Jones turned up and he was like, fucking, I am Welsh now. I'm fucking Welsh, mate. You know? It's like, okay, then, you know, no one's going to argue with you or you butt them out, like, but there we go. But yeah, it was, my opinion on it is just, I don't know whether he will be our manager moving forward. It's too early for me to even be invested in the fact of giving a fuck. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's all respect for Ryan Giggs, because as a Man United player, my opinion is he is a legend. He deserves that thing. But if he's guilty of what he done, then he's a dickhead and he deserves a slap. So until the full story comes out, nobody knows. But I think I would speak for the Red Wall or the Welsh fans. He hasn't really done enough for us to be upset of losing him. If it was Coleman, then we'd all be like, fucking hell, man. That's, you know, I was gutted when Coleman went because I felt, some fans felt that he'd done as much as he could, but I don't know, did he want to rebuild again? So I understand that. Maybe he felt he achieved everything he could possibly do with Wales. So there was kind of a respect yet again there of, okay, he's gone. There was loads of names kind of thrown around. I remember when Giggs was kind of there, especially my best mate. He was like, oh, fuck anyone but Giggs. So there wasn't a great hope for him straight away. Like, do you know what I mean?
Coleman was a really likeable bloke anyway, wasn't he? Like, you sort of back him because he just seems like a good pint. Like, I felt like that anyway. But
yeah. And I think that's what you need, especially as a Welsh manager, you need that connection. It's weird. It's like the fans, man. It's, honestly, if you don't, like, if we tell you to clap your fucking hands and the manager don't clap his hands, you'll get booed.
Yeah.
And that's the way it is. Like, do you know what I mean? It's, so it's kind of like, you've got to have that banter, that rapport with your fans. And you just got to see that you're there to do the job. Even if you can't get it done or piss poor football is being played. And I've seen so bad football being played with Wales. It's fucking astonishing, like, you know. But then I've seen absolutely incredible moments, which you might have seen, where we played Russia. And I was in Toulouse at the time. It was boiling hot. And I remember my mate turning around and going, if Volk scores, I'm fucking taking my top off. And like literally back in hell, boom, tops come off. And next thing you know, it's just amazing moments like that. Like, you know, and the way we were passing the ball around, it was as if, you know, it was like watching Brazil. That's what we were singing. Like, there was amazing moments like that of that last group game. And you think, along with all the trouble that surrounded it with the Russian, I can't think what they would call themselves now. The fighting and everything, basically.
Oh yeah, loads of ultras came over to Moscow.
Ultras.
Yeah, I remember seeing it on the news. Yeah.
Yeah, and we were hearing all the stories, you know, they're all UFC fighters. They're all like fucking Dolph Lundgren, ready to bust your balls, like, you know. So it was like really nervy going in there. But yet again, a couple of beers, soaked in the atmosphere, and it was just phenomenal. And just watching the way they played. So yet again, that's Coleman. you know, Gary Speed still gets a clap even today, when we get to the minutes. Like, you know, it's he even still gets the acknowledgement because he built that team. He started kind of paving the way for it, like, you know, and then Coleman obviously adapted and then took it to his way, and then obviously the whole five at the back and the vibe, and, you know, so yeah, brilliant. You can tell I love Welsh football.